Hey everybody, this is Javi, and you're watching the Bowtie Psychic here on YouTube. I'm a psychic and intuitive medium who focuses on divination and storytelling to help people overcome generational trauma. Thank you so much for watching the Daily Messenger video today for September 18th, 2019. Sorry, I've been off for a couple of days. Like I've been resting, I haven't been feeling well, but I'm doing a lot better now, and so I'm ready to, be of service to you. I tapped into a spirit. I tapped into the I tapped into the message itself, and what I received on an intellectual, on a not intellectual level, excuse me, but on a intuitive level, is that people are now ready for change. A lot of folks are just pretty much ready for I'm getting 2019 to end because you've gone through a lot of stuff, a lot of transformation, and some of that, or a lot of it, was not comfortable at all. It's not supposed to. Like sometimes transformation is very much something that is to take us out of our comfort zone. That's what transformation is supposed to do. A lot of us have been very, very comfortable in where we were and where we are. And so what ends up happening is that we become comfortable in our own discomfort. And so what ends up happening is that spirit just pushes us. They like for real, just pushes us out, out of the way, out of our own way, and saying like, look, this is what we're gonna do today. You know what I mean? So that's why a lot of people are like, fuck 2019, we are ready for it to be over with. Well, what is happening as a result of that is you're changing. You're allowing a lot of those changes, even though sometimes it's begrudging, is like you begrudge it. You're still like letting those changes happen because you also know that when you are tapped into spirit and when you're tapped into what you are supposed to be doing, it's inevitable. You're not going to be able to be comfortable, for very long. As someone says, and which the old saying says, the only thing that's constant is change. And so, you being in your comfort zone um, for an extended period of time is not where you are going to be and where you're supposed to be. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm getting that 2019 was really hard for a lot of people. But at the same time, it was a blessing in disguise because a lot of y'all were just sitting here and doing nothing or contemplating your next move. And so Spirit is like, I got your next move. I got you. And they basically pushed you into the water where you're supposed to be, the water being your emotions, the water being like unknown territory. So be aware. And that's another thing too. A lot of people have been going through a lot of emotions, and a lot of emotions, a lot of intense emotions, especially since the new moon has passed. A lot of people have been doing a lot of releasing rituals, a lot of new moon rituals, and so it's just really cool for people um, to basically come through and you know um and be themselves and to allow spirit to literally change them to the point to um basically have you feel all of your emotions. A lot of y'all had a hard time doing that, and so 2019 made y'all do that. So that's where I'm getting as well. I'm also getting that a lot of people are anticipating a lot of good fortune that is happening. A lot of y'all have been doing a lot of manifestation work, a lot of conjuring, a lot of doing spells. I'm getting like doing spells and doing a lot of work around not only releasing what no longer serves y'all, but actually making room for those for things that are going to like add to your life and contribute to your very existence. So a lot of y'all are just anticipating and actually getting a lot of the blessings that you were working towards, myself included. There's a lot of folks here that are just like, I'm just feeling like the sense of relief and a sense of happiness, a sense of joy. I'm sort of feeling a lot of like people are breathing, people are starting to relax, they're starting to breathe. They're giving themselves the opportunity to feel a lot of what a lot of what they're receiving. Whether it be a compliment, whether it be like a gift, whether it be like some money, whether it be like whether it be like love. I'm feeling a lot of love energy as well. A lot of y'all are now starting to uh, allow yourself. That's another thing. Love is actually, there's a lot of love energy around here. A lot of you, and I'm not talking about just platonic. I'm getting like a romantic love. I'm getting that a lot of you are now allowing yourself to feel love, and you're allowing someone else to love you as you are. You're not changing for anybody. You're not changing for them. They're not changing for you. And because you're letting a lot of that trauma go around love, people, you're starting to attract people who see you the way you see yourself, which is a very loving, kind, very strong-willed person, a very someone who was willing to, you know, give the world to someone who deserves it, someone who is willing to just do the, even like the basic minimums, that just like going out to dinner or doing something that will feed someone's spirit and feed someone's heart. You're looking for that. You've been through, like those who are just receiving this message or meant to receive this message. You've been through a lot of heartache as a result of the past and how people treated you in the past. But now, you're allowing yourself, all that stuff, all that energy is changing. 2019 is very much excuse me, a year of change. It's a year where people are transforming. The number 9 is about transformation, is about completion. So don't be surprised that all of a sudden these changes are happening, and your love life is also going to experience a lot of those changes. What's happening is that you are allowing yourself to become vulnerable. You're allowing yourself to become at peace with what happened in your past, or you're beginning to do enough work necessary to realize that you deserve love just like everybody else. There is nothing wrong with you. You don't consider yourself damaged goods. You don't consider yourself unlucky in some way, shape, or form. And or I wouldn't even say unlucky. That's like a really that's a really corny word. But basically, what I'm getting is that you don't see yourself as unlovable because of what happened to you in the past. You don't see yourself as unlovable. You don't see yourself as a burden to someone else. You're not seeing yourself, as some sort of person who doesn't deserve. Okay, because your subconscious mind was for a long time telling you, just basically doing all that chatter and telling them a lie, saying that you didn't deserve nothing, and that's not the case at all. So basically, you are allowing yourself to experience love. If you have not been able to, if you weren't able to meet your significant other or your future significant other, um, if you have not met them yet, you are going to, um, if not this year, this month, or some or sometime, um, October or November. It's going to be fairly soon. That energy of finding someone, and connecting with them is coming up, and is very soon. And I feel like there's like even in my heart, there's like an ache because there's still a lot of you who are still carrying some hurt around the past and around trauma and around what happened to you in your past, but you're now but even though that ache is there, it's not as prominent. It's not the first thing that someone feels or sees when they see you. It's because you're letting a little bit of your light shine. You're letting a little bit of your light come through. So they are seeing that before they see everything else. All the other stuff, they're going to be a part of your growth. That's another thing too. The person that you are going to be with, because they've been through their own growth and they've been through their own trauma, they're now understanding. They have more compassion. And so your partner, your new partner, is going to have a lot of compassion towards you because they see a lot of your growth. And they see a lot of the growing pains that you've been through just to come to this point. And so it's as if they are there to support you. They're going to support you and be there for you as much as they possibly can be. Um, but there's going to be a balance. Okay, there's going to be a balance between you and this other person, and don't be surprised if it feels weird. It's going to feel weird at first because that level of distrust that you still have is still there. You know what I mean? So that so when this person comes into your life, it's just like are they really are they playing? Is this are they tripping? Or is this too good to be true? Like I'm not here for it, so on and so forth. And so, like, there's still that level of suspicion that you have because you're so used to, like, certain people. Okay, you're so used to a certain type of behavior towards you, and so when this other person comes into your life, it's as if like there's still that level of distrust. But as time goes on, and the two of you begin to blossom and to grow together, you will start to realize that you can trust them. You can trust them. I'm just seeing all these changes that are happening for you, especially when it comes to love, especially when it comes to a romantic relationship, because you deserve so much love and so much support. You know what I mean? So this person's not going to walk out on you or do something, sinister towards you, to where um, they're gonna you think they're gonna walk out. I know gets them walking out on you. So there's gonna be a lot of people like don't. I mean, do not be surprised if this person ends up being your partner for life, or getting marriage out of it. Out of this relationship. Don't be surprised at all. Let me fix these lights because I feel like I don't want the light in my face. I think I had enough light. I wish I didn't have to turn on the light, but whatever. Otherwise, I'll be in the dark and you won't be able to see me. And I had to move my desk even to like get this together. I actually like this setup. But anyway, I'm just saying. Um, don't be surprised if this person you end up marrying this person, or you end up um, spending the rest of your life with this person, even if you don't have a marriage certificate, because they're going to be adding so much to your life. Um, they are going to be. I'm not getting like a. They get. I'm getting like somewhat of a twin flame, but something that's much more powerful than that. So much more powerful. I'm getting life partner. They're going to be a life partner. They're going to be like your, um, not even your other half. It's just something much more powerful than this. I'm a twin flame is like the better thing, the better label for it, but it's something much more powerful, um, much more intimate, and it's just like otherworldly. The love that you are going to have for each other is going to be otherworldly. No one is going to be able to be this person. To be honest with you, like they're not. They're going to be the ones to satisfy you. They're going to be the ones, the one, um, who is going to add so much to your life, and you're going to add a lot to theirs. You're going to be teaching each other a lot, and and there's not that pressure. I know that a lot of people feel that in certain relationships, especially monogamous relationships, that there's this pressure to be that all for that person. There's in That's not necessarily true, to be honest with you, and that's a whole other conversation altogether as far as how marriage is seen, in Western culture. But what I'm getting from this is that this person is, for a fact that this person is not going to tend to all of your needs because that is your job. That is your job to tend to those needs that you have, but they're definitely going to pour with a lot of love into you and into your spirit, and you are going to do the same thing once you start uh, getting rid of those barriers, and they're going to help you break down those barriers. It's going to be a lot of work, as far as you working on yourself and you doing everything you can to work on yourself, because there's no way that you can get into a relationship and then like you expect him to fix you. That's not how this goes, chief. But what I'm saying is that when it comes to you being with this person. They know where you're coming from, and they're going to add a lot of joy into your life to demonstrate that that joy is possible, that love is possible, that loving you and you being a lovable person is very much a possible or a possibility. It's not just about a possibility. It's very much it's a guarantee. Love is not a it's a it's not a love is something that we all deserve. It's not a privilege. It's not a right. It's what we deserve. Okay. But I'm just so happy for y'all because a lot of you, even though I can feel the heartache in your heart, there's going to be so that you are going to find a partner who loves you um at their like they're going to love you at your full capacity. You're going to love them at at their full capacity, and there it is going to be a marriage or a long term relationship coming from this as a result. So yeah, there's still a lot of positive changes that are going to be coming for you. So if, um, if you connected to that intuitive message in every way, shape, or in any way, shape, or form, you can like and subscribe to the channel, the Bowtie Psychic YouTube channel. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and you can also contact me via my website, thebowtiepsychic.com, to schedule an appointment. Someone asked me if I do like parties and things like that, and I do like to do parties, and I would like to do like a group session, so I'm down for that as well. Um, so yes. Let's get started with, and I'll please like comment. I would love to know, what you think of this reading, or what you think of this intuitive message. So, whew. So on that note, let's get down with cards. So I actually pulled cards already, but I also, if I'm pulled, or if I am led to pull any more cards, I would definitely do that. But right now, I have four cards from the Spellcasters Tarot deck. In fact, let me go. I should have. Here you go. Here's what it is: a modern Spellcasters Tarot. I really enjoy this. I've been led to use this more often than not, which is fine. That's fine. You know what I mean? I was using the Dreams of Gaia deck, but for some reason, my spirit was like, "No, we're gonna switch this up." So that's what we're doing, right? So, what I got here, as far as the first card, is the Lover's card upside down, and this card is basically saying like, allow yourself. What I'm getting from this card straight up and flat out is that this is the time for you to begin to love yourself. So, because you're lonely, like you being by yourself is coming to an end. You're being by yourself, and being on your own and going on this journey of singlehood is coming to an end. And this is also a time for you to start doing the work necessary, continue to do the work necessary in order for you to start to start putting the intentions out there to meet your significant other, to put the intentions out there to be ready for your significant other, or whoever you are supposed to meet. Because what's happening is that you're doing the changes. You're doing all these changes necessary. You're doing all the release work. You're connecting to your ancestors. You're doing the writing exercises, or whatever writing exercise that you have at the moment, or doing at the moment, in regards to you releasing whatever hangups you have, whether it be about your body, or your spirit, or how you think about yourself. You're letting all that go. All the stuff, all the trauma that has everything and anything to do with how you feel about yourself is being is being released. So this is literally the time for you to stop thinking that you are not lovable and that you're not capable of being with someone, because that's one of the reasons why you stayed single. That's one of the reasons why you kept to yourself, is because um, what ended up happening was that you just felt like you were unlovable and you were not deserving of the type of unconditional love that you see other people getting. You literally allow, like, our subconscious mind is somehow is sometimes, if not most of the time, a dangerous neighborhood. When we get messages, or from people saying, that we are less than or we are nothing, if we're being told that over and over and over again, our brain stores that. Our brain stores that, and we start to act as if it's true. This is really prominent among um, sex abuse victims, or victims of abuse, who have their bodies violated in some way, shape, or form, whether it be, through sexual assault, or being beaten, or physical assault. And you're being told that somehow you deserve that. And so this is one of the reasons why, a lot of us, a lot of survivors of abuse, end up picking partners or attracting partners no fault of their own. um, they should attract partners who basically reenact those thoughts that we have in our mind, that we deserve to be punished or be hurt physically or sexually in some way, shape, or form. We literally seek that out because that's all we know. And so as a result of that, we end up getting into these dysfunctional relationships. And the lover's card is basically saying that um, this is literally the time for us to stop beating ourselves up for, stop beating ourselves up and stop listening to those messages, and do everything we can to let go of those messages, so we can basically demonstrate what type of love we deserve, which is basically one that is devoid of of trauma, of violence, of whether it be, I'm not just talking about physical violence, I'm talking about psychological violence, verbal violence, spiritual violence, because that's what, just because we were used to that doesn't mean that it's healthy. We deserve a healthy relationships. We deserve, a partner who is going to uplift us, and uplift us spiritually, or help us do that in some way, shape, or form by contributing to our life, our spiritual life in some way, shape, or form. This is what we are deserving. And that's what the Lover's card is basically saying. At least that's the energy that I'm getting from this card, is that this is the time for us to stop being single out of fear. If we are going to be single, just to get ourselves together, that's one thing. But if but when it comes to being single out of fear, or being single because we feel as if we are not lovable, or we're going to, in some way, shape, or form, mess up that person in some way, shape, or form, or they're going to think that we're, weird, and all this stuff. That type of stuff we are to be rid of. On that type of stuff, we are to work on, to continue to work on, if we are going to be in a healthy relationship. Because whether, yes, a lot of us have our quirks, and that's okay. I remember reading a tweet about, about a woman who, she collected sticks. She collected sticks, and she was like, if she loved a stick, she brought it home, and she had an ex that actually criticized her for that. She broke up with him. They broke up, and she now found somebody who, loves her quirk. You know what I mean? To the point where he even tattooed sticks, on his ankle. You know what I mean? So long story short, do the work necessary. And I say that because you are being told to do the work necessary, to do the shadow work necessary. Do the shadow work. Look at yourself and look at your own toxicity as well. So you're not bringing that into a relationship, you know, and allow yourself to be loved. Okay. This is what the Lover's card is saying. The Lover's card upside down. Okay. Then you got the star card. The star card is basically talks a little bit about, psychic ability, knowing your psychic ability, letting go, so you can in studying, so you can let go of that stuff. And basically that's what this card is saying now. I'm just saying, be your own. I'm just getting, be your own star, be the own star of your life, be the own star of your show. And hold on, what is, allow things to be let go. We just said, like, just like with the lovers card, a lot of us are staying single, because we are out of being single out of fear, and being or not being seen as lovable. This card is basically saying, uh, let that go, and see yourself as a star, and see yourself as a star in the making. See yourself as someone who is loving and deserving, and basically tap into your psychic ability. A lot of y'all, a lot of us, all of us have psychic ability, but a lot of us who have gone through trauma, we use spirituality to do the work necessary to let go of that trauma. A lot of us, call upon our ancestors. A lot of us call upon our spirit guides, our loved ones, or not, but our wise ones, the guardian angels, archangels. Some of us, may call upon certain elementals like fairies or mermaids or something of that nature, um, to get power. Some of us who work with the orishas, you know what I mean? You work with the orishas to gather your strength, to gather your self worth, that feeling of self worth, that power, to connect with your, not only your ancestry, but to connect to your African roots. So basically, what you're being called to do is to use your spirituality to manifest the type of partner you are looking for, but also to do the work necessary, to do the spiritual work necessary, the shadow work necessary, in order for you to clear the wreckage of the self. Okay, that's within yourself. To clear that wreckage, to clear that stuff that tells you that you ain't shit. You know what I mean? Get rid of all those messages. Get rid of that. Um, by doing meditation work around the subconscious mind, and basically start to because there, to be honest with you, there are people who who block those messages out, but our subconscious mind, whatever um, whatever we do everything we can to block out, our subconscious brain actually stores that. Our brain is like a computer. It doesn't delete anything. It all depends on how much you want to remember. So basically what you can do is, to call up those messages, that you have received, because there are, like I said, there are people who will block those out, is to do some meditative exercises around the subconscious memory, the subconscious self, or the unconscious self. I shouldn't even say subconscious, but the unconscious self, because if that part of your brain is asleep, guess what? It's unconscious. So basically, you're being told by spirit to start doing some meditative work around your unconscious mind, and just so you call up those messages, is because that's what drives your behavior. That's what drives um your behavior towards people. That's what drives you to make certain decisions that may or may not be healthy for you. So you're being called, to basically be the star of your own life by basically doing all you can to give up those messages. Give up those messages that you are not lovable. Give up those messages that you are incapable. Give up those messages that you are not a person to be in a relationship. Yeah, I'm just getting a lot of yeah, I'm just getting a lot of Piscean energy from this too. Piscean energy because of water. I'm also getting a lot of mind, body, and spirit type of connection. I'm getting a lot of star seed type of stuff, like basically a lot of like extraterrestrial type of stuff too. And I'm getting that from this card in particular, well, because for one, it is a star card and it does deal with psychic ability. This is a time for us to call upon all of our ancestors, not just the one from this lifetime, but those from um, past lives, other dimensions, other universes. Ask those people and like ask those entities for help. Ask those entities for help because they will help you remember who you are. They will help you remember what you're here for, and that is actually self love is actually connected to that. They will actually help you love yourself, help you to find ways to love yourself in ways that are very powerful and very and very uh, affirming, very affirming. So that's why. Okay, now I'm starting to see what's going on. Yeah, it's time for you. It's time for you to act, and that's what these cards are like. Loving yourself, loving yourself, and getting out of that box that you put yourself in requires action. I was asking why was that truck running, passing by? Because it was a truck that passed by. I was wondering like what that was about. And my spiritual mentor always said that any any and all distractions are a message. Or have a message. Attached to it. And I tapped into spirit and asked what that was about, and spirit basically said that was about moving forward and doing so loudly. Move forward, take action in regards to your own self, your inner self, because your higher self is actually waiting for you to connect to them, to connect to them. That higher self, that higher part of yourself already loves themselves. They already love themselves. They're just waiting for you to do, and they're just waiting on you to do the work necessary to get on board and to get into that 5D, um, that 5D energy. Okay, so that's what that card is saying. Long story short, those two cards so far are saying like, look, this is a time for you to you're no longer going to be single for a minute. You're going to be looking finding someone who loves you for you, but you have to be in the position to do that um, for yourself. And the star energy will actually help you. The star card basically is saying that your people, your whole spirit squad from all over, not just this lifetime, from all over, will be able to help you with that. And to tap into your psychic energy, to tap into that spiritual self. I'm gonna go on and on. Maybe one of these days I can do a video on how to tap into, ancestral energy. Um, but but we're gonna move on. So we're gonna have like the King of Swords. Because the King of Swords is backwards. Ooh, wow. So I'm just kidding. Don't let your thoughts get the best of you. A lot of you are letting your thoughts get the best of you, and it's time for y'all to again let that stuff go. Allow, and it's not surprising at all that it's just upside down. A lot of you are not letting stuff go. This is a time for you to just, because here's the thing: if you're right side up, if you see the imagery of this card, the King of Swords the swords is basically they are allowing their wisdom to come through. They're the master of their thoughts. They are the master of their domain, and they've learned their lessons. They've learned their lessons. He's learned his lesson. Okay, the snow that's on the ground is old age. Um, Basically like letting old things die, letting old things be buried, and letting go, and allowing and allowing the soil and the ground um, basically die out so we can start anew. And so what this card is basically saying upside down is that you're not, some of y'all are not allowing yourself, some of y'all are not allowing yourself to let things go. You're allowing things to fester. Because one of the things why the unhappiness is still there, that heartache that I was feeling earlier is still there, because even though you're doing the work, even though you will be doing the work, if you're not already, that heartache is still there. You're still holding on to a lot of stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, because growth is not linear. Personal growth, spiritual growth is not linear. It's going to take time, depending on the level of trauma and the severity of what happened and the severity of the pain. You're gonna It's gonna take a while to let that go. Um, but don't let it fester either. Don't sit in your anger. Don't sit in your sadness, because that's going to hinder you. That's going to hinder you in some way, shape, or form. Um, that's going to hinder your growth. That's going to hinder your. I'm just feeling like the heart chakra, and that's another thing I want to put that out there. It's time for you to start doing some heart chakra work, because what I'm feeling like, to have all that stuff manifest in your heart, that can cause you to have heart problems. Heart disease is a silent killer, especially among African American people, especially African American men. Okay, because you're festering and holding that stuff in. Okay, and I'm not just talking about cis males and all. I'm talking about trans and gender nonconforming people as well. Okay, let that stuff go. It will turn into a health problem. I'm also getting to that some of y'all have allergies, but some of y'all are not speaking up either. Um, no, it's more or less allergies because of the weather. And like, I'm getting that, but when I start coughing too, um, that means that you're not allowing yourself to speak up about what's going on with you. And as a result of that, like, your throat chakra is also blocked. So there's some wonderful meditations on um, on YouTube that will help you clear that up, and to help you and also to help you regain your power, the power in your voice, and the power in yeah, the power in your voice and the power in your heart chakra. It's just time to do some healing work, because what end up happening is that if you do not do something about this, you're going to put yourself in a position of getting sick. Stress breaks down the body. Stress breaks down the heart muscles, the veins, and like, your heart is what keeps you alive. And so that heart, your heart chakra is what makes you vulnerable. And so when you do not cleanse that on a regular basis, and you just let things fester, that's going to cause some problems. So I just want to put that out there. But this card is basically saying, like, look, it's time for you to start letting stuff go, because a lot of you are not allowing that. Um, and was I'm just getting some healing, with like medicinal healing. And I'm talking about herbs. I'm not talking about like actual pills or anything like that. But anything with pink in it, but especially with spiritual baths, rose quartz is good for that self love. Also, like pink Himalayan salt bath, pink flowers, pink roses. They can actually help you with that. They can like help you open up your heart chakra. Any sort of meditation that will that is centered around the heart chakra, that will help as well. Um, and also doing the work necessary to, like, keeping up your maintenance as far as your spiritual maintenance, as far as how you're feeling how you're feeling. That's basically like the number one thing. The number one thing is speaking up because your voice is connected to how you feel. Your voice is connected when you vocalize how you feel. That stuff is outside of you, and you can replace it with self love and self care. So that's what that card is saying because you're not. This is like your past is like is basically the reason why you're staying single. You know what I mean? You're afraid of being vulnerable with people. And I mean, it shows in this card right here. It shows this card right here. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why you're being told like in every card is telling you like a sequential story here. So let's go back. You're it talks about allowing yourself being single and um, clean up that wreckage so you will not be so lonely and you won't put yourself in the position of staying single out of fear and out of fear of that vulnerability. And you're being asked to like tap into all of your spiritual gifts in order to let some of that go because to do the work necessary because right now a lot of y'all are not letting that stuff go. You're letting it fester. Um, to the point where you're blocking your blessings and you're not allowing yourself to be vulnerable to the point where you can actually find that happiness within yourself so you can start manifesting. I keep getting manifesting the type of relationship you're looking for. And for the fourth card here is the Nine of Pentacles. Okay. I'm getting a Reiki healing will help too. The Reiki healing. If you can get like long distance healing from someone, um, I do energy healings myself. So that is something that you can ask me about as well. But as far as keeping that stuff in the heart chakra, like it's really hurting you. And you can also heal yourself too if you're called to do that. But here's the Nine of Pentacles. From this card, I'm getting that you are is to basically, despite all that's going on, you know, this card is basically saying to be grateful for where you are and who you are because you've come so far. You've come so far in this journey, and there are times when you're like, okay, what next? What next? What else am I going to do? And so, what I'm getting from this card, straight up and flat out, is be satisfied with where you are. Keep doing the work, but also give yourself a pat on the back. Because you've gotten this far on with spirit. You are now allowing the changes to happen. Okay, sometimes it's tiring. I feel like you know some there you can see it better. Sometimes it's very tiring this work. Sometimes you're like what else? What else is gonna happen? What the fuck else is gonna happen? Like I'm doing all this work, I'm doing all this releasing, I'm doing all the spiritual battle, I'm doing all this writing, and I'm still feeling the way that I am. What's going on? When is it gonna happen? But that's the thing, though. The more, please realize that it's hard. The fact that you're even doing this work, um, is hard and like it's hard enough. The fact that you stood up and actually told yourself and actually realized that your life is not um, where it's supposed to where it is, and that but your life is no longer the way it was. You know what I mean? Like you have done all kinds of things to get out of the wreckage of your trauma. So it's not, at least for the most part, it's not clouding your judgment. It's not messing up your life. It's no longer controlling you. Okay, it's no longer controlling you, and that's something to be grateful for. There's nothing, something to be grateful about. You are to do all you can to congratulate yourself for what you've done. Excuse me, okay? But also please know that while you're doing the healing and while you're taking a break, don't sit on your laurels because there's so much work to do still. The work is never over with. You know, it's just when the blow of the trauma becomes less and less over time because you're no longer you're no longer going to be so affected and triggered by it to the point where it's like taking over your life. One of the reasons why the Lover's card came up here is because the trauma that you went through in the past, especially with matters of the heart. I mean, trauma in general is going to affect you, you know, emotionally. But I'm also getting to that it's not just trauma from childhood, but it's also trauma from, you know, relationships as well, like um, romantic relationships that were like, nope, this person hurt me to the point where I cannot even like deal with a relationship right now. And so you also told yourself like, I'm not going to um, deal with someone who is going to hurt me. You know, and to switch that language around, like I deserve someone better. I deserve something better, and I know for a fact that I am to change myself first or to do the work on myself first so I can start attracting um, people who are like me, very loving, very kind, very, you know, very loving, very kind, and very gentle, so on and so forth. Okay. But you felt like were to be single first. And now you're being asked to you're being asked to get out of that situation. The reason why I pulled that card is because you're like, what next? I did all this work. What next? There are some of you that are like, most of you that are like, what next? I'm doing all this work now. When is my individual, like this significant other? You keep talking about Javi. When are they gonna come through? That's why this card is coming out. This card is basically saying, like, look, you did all the work necessary, but also be patient and also be grateful for where you are today, because that's another thing too. And I'm going to put this out here. Just because you did the work necessary, um, for and this is just for like in general. Um, yes, there's going to be people who are going to be finding their significant other fairly soon. If not, you know, this month, then October. I want to say close to the middle October to November. They're going to end up like finding, you know, their significant other. But I'm going to be honest with you. Just because you've done the work necessary does not mean you're going to end up with someone. There are people who are like, I'm fine as I am. I'm fine where I am. There are people who are like, who are looking for that person and they just do not come, and they're like, they're devastated, but it's not the end of the world. Not everything ends up in a relationship. Not everyone winds up in a relationship, but it's just that the people, but the people that I um that will receive this message, you're being told to like be patient because that person is coming. That person is coming, and they're going to love you as you are. Okay. But in the meantime, like, I'm just getting from this card to be grateful. Be grateful for where you are. Be grounded. Be grounded. It gets boring, I know. You be like, damn, when can I Netflix and chill? They even say that. You know what I mean? When can I chill while I'm watching Netflix? You know what I mean? Uh, but what I'm also getting to is that when it comes to when it comes to like your own personal growth, it's 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 okay for you to say like, look, I did it. I did it. You know what I mean? I did it. And no one can take that away from you. Nobody. So when it comes through, let me pull one more card. I'm being told to pull one more. Oh, which one, Spirit? Okay. I'll be able to use the deck in my hand, and that is the Spellcaster's Tarot. Oh, wow. So, the last card we got here is the Six of Swords. We have a lot. We have like a whole hodgepodge and stuff here. Like um we have a couple of major arcana cards here, and those are very powerful cards, like for real. But I got the Six of Swords. I'm getting stop looking for answers. Stop looking for answers. You already know the answers, so keep forward. You already know the answers within yourself as to why things have occurred. You subconsciously know what happened. You subconsciously know why you are on this particular journey when it comes to self love and attracting love. You already know now. By now, you already know. That's why these changes are coming, because you are doing the work necessary. You are doing the release work. You're doing the shadow work. Let's call it what it is. Release work is basically shadow work. You are doing the work. You are connecting to your ancestors. You're connecting to spirit. You're doing a spiritual bath. You are, doing astral projection to connect with your higher self. You're using tarot and using tools of different of divination. You're already on this track now. You're already on this track. Some of you aren't even using divination tools. You are the divination tool. You are like at this point. You are able to um, connect to spirit in a way that is meaningful to you. Some of you are using writing, some of you are using paintings or illustrations, some of you are connecting to nature. You already know. This card is basically saying don't look for any more answers because you already got them. You already got them. So there's no need for y'all to stress. There's no need for you to worry about where your life is going to be, where, there's no need to do all that. You already know. So spirit is basically saying, take this time, take this time to pat yourself on the back and to just receive the changes that are coming. Receive the changes that are coming. And take a deep breath. Some of y'all are to take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. There's no need for you to be overwhelmed. There's no use to being so anxious and distraught over the future. The spirit has given you the answers. That your spirit squad already gave you the answers. There's no need for you to keep searching. You already know. Some of you are doubting yourself and doubting your gifts, saying like, well, "Oh my God, what if I'm doing wrong? What happened?" But spirit is basically telling you like, "Look, I got you. I got you." That's basically what this card is saying. Like, I got you. Open your eyes. There's no need to sacrifice any more of your energy by worrying. There's no need. I got you. So basically, that's what I have for today, for the Daily Messenger, um, for August. August. Ooh, I went back in time, y'all. Speaking of time travel, um, for September 18th, 2019. If this message resonated with you in any way, shape, or form, or even giving you hope or joy, you can subscribe to the Bowtie Psychic channel, the YouTube channel. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm always on both of them, always. Also, you can if you want a more in-depth reading, you can contact me at bowtiepsychic.com. I check my calendar all the time now, and so if you are looking to, for more in-depth reading, by all means, let me know, and I will definitely, make myself available to you, of course. So, thank you so very much for all of your support. I really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, peace.